Does anybody go to, wow, that's a lot. Does anybody go to this church? So explain this to me. It's like we have an obstacle course for Christians up here. You can't, it's just these bars, it's like, so pagans on this side, Christians on the back, how does this work? I'm not sure what you have here. Now, I don't think, they talked about gift prizes. They are going to be giving away both the drum set and the keyboard, so I think the piano has to stay, but everything else can certainly go. And just do know that tonight when the show is over, just come up and take whatever you want. If you need some picnic benches, take those things, that's fine. Because they don't have any guards, they can't stop you. Take it all! You're Christian, you're forgiven, it's okay. It's all right. I always get in trouble at some point. This is our job. You've come to watch us work. This is our job. We are smart Alex. I go home every single year. My 6th grade teacher told me I could never make a living as a smart aleck. Oh, she was very clear. Oh, she was. And so I go home every single year. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I go home, I call her up, I tell her how much I make, I laugh and I hang up. That's what I do. She's in a nursing home. She has no idea who I am. But it just feels good to do. I'm forgiven. It's okay. If I was a Buddhist, I'd have to work it off. Thank God for Jesus. That's what I said. This is like Comedy Crusade for Cause number 56. Come on in. Thank you so much. We've all shared one secret about ourselves. Just something about you that we don't know. Just one thing. We've already heard about a lot of people here. Just one thing we don't know about you. Just one thing. Just one simple thing. You're afraid of spiders. That was Dustin's joke. We can't do that. I'm sorry. That was. Thank you for trying to play your game. You were going to win the wonderful piano. You lost. We do travel all over the world because again, it's our job. We go around the country and we perform for a lot of different organizations. I did it for DARE. I'm sure you've heard about that. A very good organization. It stands for Drugs Are Really Exciting. It's a horrible title. How do they get funding for that thing? I have no idea. And so they said they want you to pray before the meal. It was a big banquet. They said, but because we're a government-sponsored organization, we can't have you use any particular deity's name. I was like, all right. That's what I said. Oh my God. I mean, it's your gig, I'll do it. And so I'm praying, and I realize I have no idea how to close this prayer. So it's getting longer and longer and longer. And finally I just said, we pray these things in your name. Hopefully you know who you are. I have been doing this for a while. I used to do a lot of impressions in my act, and then I realized the other day that most everyone I do is dead, which is depressing. That's just a depressing thought. It really is. So I said I'm going to try and update my act. To do that, I'm going to do the songs of today as sung by the stars of yesterday. So it means the old people will not know the songs, the young people will not know the voices. This routine is for no one. I will do James Mason, which only probably 15 of you know who he is. James Mason does Bruno Mars. Uptown funk you up, uptown funk you up. Don't believe me, just watch. What? See? Nobody. All right, we'll go on. I could do, Jimmy Stewart does Pharrell.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, clap along if you're happy. If you're like a room without a roof, because you're happy. Burt Lahr does Adele.
What?
We could have had it all. Rolling in the deep. You had my heart and my soul. We could have had it all. Boris Karloff does my favorite song, I think, of the last 2 to 3 years. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all... The best lyrics ever, don't you think? I'm all about that bass. I'm bringing sexy back. Peter Lorre does Katy Perry. I kissed a girl and I think I liked it. And let's see. Oh, Louis Armstrong. Okay, a lot of you know Louis does Beyonce. Oh, to sing of ladies. Oh. That's a routine for no one. There we go. That's good. That's all. This is what I do. It's a job. So I know what I do. Let's find out about how many of you like your job. Let's just find out how many like your job. Yes, many. Okay. How many just don't like your job? Right, how many have jobs? Let's start there, I think. We're depressed, that's the problem here. That's what come to a comedy show. You just brought it up, you made me mad. So, like your job. I think you just have the best job. A lot of you, I think you raised your hand on you like your job. So what do? You're an art director? Very good. So you just look at paintings and go, you, more. Good, stop, no. For who? For what? For a church in Highland, and so you're an art director, so you would do this. So you sit home and you go, prison POW for Christians. Got it, love it, yes, let's do that. I see a series, I can see it, I can feel it. So as an art director, what do you think this is? You've got the cross with barnyard animals. Do we know? Have you already had the series? Is it halfway done? No one's going to tell us now, are they? Well, we're all forgiven for it. So you do what? So you design the stage then for whatever the pastor's talking about? You design the set to reflect what he's talking about? A little bit. So just very, very small sets. Nothing big, just very small crosses all over the place. Okay. And you like your jobs? Because it's easy, or because you just do little things? So as soon as they go big, you're out. It's a full-time job. So there's a church in Highland that needs so much art direction that and you don't do it, you just direct it. Other people build it, you just go, no! Make that cross smaller. Little things. And what's your favorite project so far? Christmas designs. Because they're elves, they're small, that's probably why. You have a diminutive theme going throughout everything. Okay, we have job number 1. Now, the winner will get the piano, the drums, or the obstacle course for Christians. So, and you can just take one plank if you were to be small. You can just have best job. There's always somebody just, oh, yes, okay, yes, you raise your hand. You love your job, yes. You're a teacher. There you go. Now, see, you have to applaud that. You must, because that's the best. Because everybody here knows, a good teacher can inspire, can educate, of course, but can fill you up. And the bad one is a Nazi that can just grind you down to death. I've heard that bad teachers, actually, some people have been affected. They actually have given up and become art directors for very small things. I'm just gonna draw. She told me I could never be big. What do you teach? What grade? 7 through 12. So you're getting them just as the puberty begins. So, oh, how are you? I come to the class. It's the yodeling thing. And a specific class, I'm sorry? Science. Oh, very nice. So give us one scientific fact we should all know. Wait, say it much louder. Photosynthesis is very important. And I believe that's in First Hesitations, that is in the Bible. It's like, the Lord your God, love him with all your heart, soul, and mind, and photosynthesis, very important. If I'm not mistaken. And it was so important that God on the second day made all the vegetables, and then he rested, because it was that important. And so, without it, we'd be dead, am I correct? We would have no oxygen, and we'd all be gone. Well, thank you. And you teach people up to 6th grade, they're ignorant, but when they hit you in 7th grade, they know. Very good. You're second place right now, because... Now, here's the question. Do you allow your kids to be funny in class? Liar. You brought students with you? You brought your science class? Come up here. Now, I don't know if you've been listening, but something is very important in science. I'm not going to give you any hint, but the first word is photo. Synthesis is very good. Okay, now she said that photosynthesis is very important. What do you think is the most important thing you've learned in science class?
That God is real.
And that came from science class.
Yes.
That's a very interesting...
Because God made it.
He made your science class?
He made the earth.
He has this very smug attitude on him. Shut up, kid. Don't try and be humble now. You're cocky, we know you. All right, so now, so science class. So God made the earth. Okay, good. Next great scientific fact that we should all know. He just said cellular respiration. I don't even know what that means. Very good. Well, if the previous act was up here, you could have made him say it, then it would have just mouthed it. We'll sit down. You're not going to pass. Sit down. I'm so sorry. Let me see. So, but does she let you laugh in class every once in a while? See, this is a good thing because she feeds you. Does she feed you plants? Because that would go with photosynthesis. You really want these kids to stay in your school? Please, just here, have a Twinkie. Please, sit down. I need this job. See, here's the thing. When you understand science and you're a brainiac, they build whole wings to devote to you. When you're good in sports, they'll build whole wings. When you're funny, they put you in the hall. And that's just a fact of the matter because the teacher usually has to control the class, and so they can't laugh at your joke. But what they do, what you don't know, is they go to the teacher's lounge, and they tell the other teachers your joke. And the teachers walk by in class the next day. Oh, that was funny. I like that a lot. That was really funny. I learned nothing in class because I was always in the hall. I was always in the hall. As my life was like a Charlie Brown cartoon. It's like listen to things behind the door, like wah 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 wah. Because of that, I am so woefully ignorant. So these are my two favorite, not scientific inventions. These are inventions that I have no idea how they came up with these things. Number one, who invented Jell-O and bagpipes? Go with me on this. You know what Jell-O's made from? Okay, it's gelatin made from cow and horse hooves. Who invented that? Bunch of cowboys sitting around going, you know, we've pretty much eaten the whole cow. But I'll bet you, if we take them hooves, grind them up, add water, cherry flavoring, sliced bananas, and then freeze it, we got dessert! Worse than that, bagpipes. You know what bagpipes originally made from? Sheep's bladders. Yes! Who invented that? Hey, McGillicuddy! There's a pint in it for you if you'll blow that sheep's bladder. And then squeeze it until it sounds like Amazing Grace. But of course the sheep's to lie, the pint is fur.
That's really good.
7th grade teacher, thank you. 7 through 12. Art director, good job. One more job. Somebody over here, yes, go ahead. A nurse practitioner. So you don't actually do it, you're just practicing until you get paid. If I were taking your temperature, I would do it like this, but I can't just yet. I'm just practicing. I'm warming up. Okay. Take the pulse, take the pulse. I'm ready. Temperature. You're sick, hold on. Stick out your tongue. Good, very good. How long have you been practicing? You think it'll ever be done? Never. Do you announce yourself when you come in? I can't do this for real! I'm only practicing! Oh, sorry. Is there a field of study that you practice in? What is it? Primary care. What is secondary care? What is that? Do you have to announce it as primary care? Do people come to the hospital? I'm not that sick. Could I have your secondary care? I'm just feeling kind of morose right now. I don't need a full practitioner. I just want somebody with a general hobby on the weekends to look at me. Now, you have to understand, teachers are great, but nurses are amazing. They are, because doctors don't care. Doctors come in one time, because I was in the hospital for 5 days one time, and the nurses were there all the time. They helped me out. They were just fantastic. The doctor would come in at 9 in the morning. You're not dead. And they would go. But it was the nurses, and I fell in love with them because they just helped so much. And as I might tell the story about, okay, here's the story. Okay, so. No, we'll get to it later. All right, so, but what's the best part of your job? I dozed off in the middle there, I'm sorry. It was something about education, and then I started dozing. It was a one-night flight, I'm really sorry. But you're educating people on their primary care, because you're the primary care practitioner, and you need to educate them because if they get it wrong, they're going straight to secondary. So, she says photosynthesis is the most important thing. What's the most important thing that we can learn about our bodies and from the education that you would tell us? Diet and exercise. Shut up. There's got to be a better way. All right, I went into the doctor. I went in to get a checkup, just a quick checkup. He was not a practitioner, he was a real doctor. Okay, so I wanted a 40-mile checkup, just make sure everything's working all right. And he told me everything would go wrong with a man my age. He scared me so bad. I said, do it all. Do everything. I had a pap smear and a mammogram. I had it all. And I'm very sensitive, evidently. I did not know how sensitive I was. And he told me this diet and exercise thing. And I'm like, come on, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I exercise yearly, come on. You have to exercise. So, I joined a gym. All right, fine. And because I'm an old swimmer, and so I will swim. No, in our gym, I don't know if it happens here, but they have an aquamarine geriatric class that is in the water all the time. They got in, they don't have the strength to get out. They're there all the time. It's like a giant pod of dancing prunes. It is like trying to swim through the hippo dance of Fantasia. It's like, this is when you pray for your goggles to fog up. Oh, I do not want to see that. No. Woo! Talk about diet and exercise. Okay, so then the doctor, and this is the story I was going to tell you, and this is how nurses are amazing. The doctor said it's time for the procedure. So I'm going to be very delicate, because there's a lot of ages questions here, but just as a warning, I'm not going to be gross. It starts with a C, ends with colonoscopy. All right, so. Now, the first thing the doctor says is, this is no walk in the park, which is true. You cannot be in a park. No, you cannot be 2 feet from a bathroom. Because photosynthesis may be important, but wow, this is right below it. So they give you like a lake of laxative, and it clears out everything you only partially digested when you were 5. So it's like Dakota rings, bazooka gum, it's all coming out. Now, to save money, my wife and I did this together. It was the hospital romance package. If anybody's been in a hospital, you know what nurses do. They don't care. Meaning what you look like. Because they're used to it. To you, you're just you're a body, but we kind of like to wear clothes. Nurses, that inhibits them. Because they want to get right to it. So you go to the hospital, you're like 20 pounds lighter, and you go in there, and you fill out a form that says, Mr. Lee, did you leave your dignity in the car? Because you can't have it here. And they give you a hospital doily. And they ask you to strip down to your socks and put on this doily. And it's like, it covers nothing. And it's so embarrassing. And then they put you on a gurney with your hiney out for everybody to see. Everybody. It's like, well, I'm sorry. I would have waxed had I known. I'm so sorry. And they just wheel it down the hall like it's nobody's business. They don't care. And I'm going down going, Moon River, why? And I'm so sorry, sister saw too much. I'm so sorry. And they wheel you into the procedure room, and they hook you up to the happy juice, and you're gone. You have no recollection of what happened. You come out 4 days later in a pool of drool, and the nurse comes in and says, this is fascinating. Now, Mr. Lee, to do the procedure, we filled you full of gas so the rotoscope could move freely about the cabin. Before you go home, you have to release that gas. I'm thinking, well, are you going to use it again? I will pay for the extra gas. This is on me. Let me keep this. Let me keep this. And that's what nurses do. No, they make you expel the gas. And this is no small amount of gas. I was the Hindenburg, ladies and gentlemen. I was the Macy's Day Parade float. I was 4 feet above my covers. Interns with ropes are trying to pull me down. Oh, I gave them back their gas. I did. Yes, I did. Oh, yes, I did. And here's they won't let you drive home by yourself because you're under anesthesia, so you have to have a friend drive you home. And it's horribly embarrassing. My wife and I are in the back seat, tuning in harmony all the way home. And I was just praying to get pulled over by a cop so I could say, officer, we're almost out of gas. Every job I go to, another story, okay. But so, nurse practitioner, best job. I love your job now. So much. And 7th grade teacher, okay. Anybody else in competition for best job? Okay, oh, yes, okay, yes, go ahead. Yes. You clean houses. How many a week? You're semi-retired, so you couldn't answer the first question, so you don't really do it anymore. So you used to clean houses, and now what do you do? 3 days a week. And how much do you take home a year? I don't mean money, I mean like stuff from the houses, like this necklace fell into my blouse. But you like that. See, I know some people have so much energy, they love they're spotless, and they love to work so hard. They just, is that you? And then why is it part-time now? Because you're tired, or what happened? You want more time to do what you want, which means you don't like your job that much. You lost. Okay, we'll go back. All right, so you gotta love your job. I love what I do. God made me this way. And I hope you find, I seriously, you sound like you love your job, you love your job, you love your job. You have to find that thing that where you fit. God gave me that little sliver of creativity, and that thing where it's just the joy. I just love doing this. It's just so much fun. How many think God has a sense of humor? You wouldn't be here otherwise. I say, scientifically, God, yes, He created everything, but the proof that He has a sense of humor is us. Get out of the shower in the morning, look in the mirror, and tell me that God does not have a sense of humor. Person with me, he's getting funnier every year. But this is what I do. Now, my wife is a marriage and family therapist. Yeah, so imagine that combo platter. Like, I feel your pain, I laugh at your pain. So that's that kind of. But I was thinking about where we fit. She fits that because she's a nurturing soul. She loves to help people. That's just who she is. But she can't do what I do because she tends to keep her sarcastic thoughts inside. I can't do what she does because I don't care. But I realized we wouldn't fit in other jobs. I can't do so many other jobs. I'm made to do this. I can't do most of it because I have no education because I was in the hall the entire time. But, like, my wife would be a horrible lifeguard. I realized that the other day. I started thinking about what else we could all do. And a therapist would be a lousy lifeguard. I hear you say you're drowning. How do you feel about that? I'm sensing anger coming from you. But that's probably because your mother never taught you how to swim. We are out of time. Oh boy. If you could tread water until Thursday, I'd appreciate that. It doesn't work. So many jobs can't switch. Like, I don't know how. Now, you're a teacher. There are preschool teachers. Preschool teachers are wonderful. They take care of our kids. They're just, there you go. So again, that nurturing soul. They love kids, and they just love to wipe up stuff, evidently. That's what they love to do. But they'd be lousy waitresses. It's just that skill set doesn't train. A nursery school teacher, a preschool teacher, as a waitress, like, are you hungry? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Look at the fat tummy. Look at the fat. Open up. Open up. I fly all over the place. I realized the other day that airline pilots will be lousy sportscasters. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look on the floor, you'll see that the game is over. I'm going to try this one. I'm going to see if you like this. But the strangest job to me would be if you hired a Pentecostal preacher to be a comedian. I want to tell you a story. It is not a story of woe. It's a story that makes you go, whoa. One time there's a couple sitting home alone. Where? At home. What are they doing? They are sitting home alone. They are not gallivanting. They are not socializing. They are sitting home alone when they hear a knock at their door. Where? At their door. Where are they? At home. Where's the knock? At the door. So next to they said, who's there? You would say who's there. I would say who's there. And from the other side of the door they heard the word banana. Now, why is there a banana at our door? They could not tell because there was a barrier, a blockade, a partition, if you will, that prevented them from seeing what was on the other side of the door. They knew where it was knocking, but not why or whatever for. So they had to ask, banana who? Now get this, they did not get an answer to their query. No, they did not. They heard yet another knock at their door, a second knock at their door. Again, they had to say, who's there? And again, a second time they heard the word banana. Why is there a banana in our door? They were frustrated. They wanted a solution. They wanted a conclusion to the moral pollution. So they had to say, banana who? A third time they did not get an answer to their query, heard yet another knock at the door. A third knock at the door. Frustrated, Lord, who is knocking at our door? Who is that? And this time they did not hear banana, no. You expect a banana, I expect a banana. They did not hear banana, no, they heard orange. Oh, why is that? Why is that An orange, is this the fruit of the spirit in our dog? We've heard banana, we've heard orange. Where's the love, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control? So I had to say orange who? And from the other side, they heard orange, ha, orange, ha. Aren't you glad I didn't say banana? And that's why you never hire a Pentecostal preacher to be committed. This is fun. How long do you want to go? One more minute. All right, fine, here we go. Now, because we have a lot of teenagers here, we'll talk about this. I'm getting to the point where I am that curmudgeon, and I don't understand things. It's obviously life is different than when I grew up, so we'll talk about that a little bit. I don't understand how today's culture, today's youth, has more information available at their fingertips, and they can't figure out how to pull their pants up over their butts. I don't understand. I don't understand. This is not a crotch. No, this is the science teacher. Teach them. This is not a crotch. These are trousers, not a sock garnish. All right? Pull them up. Pull them up. How do you act? I don't know. How do you walk like that? I don't understand. I don't understand that. You're not a gangsta, you're a geisha. I don't understand that. I don't understand gauge earrings. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen them. You know, they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Who started that? Like some teenager was at home and your mother said, "You need that like you need a hole in your head." Well, maybe I did. You see them when they run their heads and whistle. But, again, go to your science teacher. What you'll find, cartilage in the ears will sag before anything else on your body. So when you're 80, you're going to have to tie them in a bow to brush your teeth. It's going to be tied down. Grandkids are going to come over. You're going to put tire chains in there. Here you go, Billy. I don't get it. Now, tattoos, I admit, I'm from the generation that when people got tattoos, they were either criminals, Marines, or they loved their mom. That was it. Those were the categories. Now everybody's got a tattoo everywhere. My daughter wanted one. I told her absolutely not. She was very upset because when I was in high school, and this is a lesson for all of you, a girl in our high school got a tattoo on her hip. It was Tweety Bird. It was very exciting for all of us. We started our reunion. We said, "How's Tweety?" She said, "Well, it's more like Big Bird now." Be very careful what you put in your body, because the goldfish of today is the shampoo of tomorrow. Be very careful. It's just different. Now, parents out there, there's so many parents. Parents now coddle their children. This is what I don't understand as well. They try to keep their children safe. My parents came out of World War II in Korea. A lot of people understand this. They did not care if we got hurt. They wanted us to get hurt because it would train us for later in life. And to do that, when we got hurt, they did not have soothing aloe, Bactine. No, we had methylate. I don't know how many of you remember this stuff. Red sulfuric acid in a bottle. It literally burned through the cut to the other side of your arm. Your arm could be hanging by a thread. You would not complain. How you doing? Oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I'm good. Fine. Put the methylate away. Okay. Everything we did was dangerous. Everything. It's like our swing sets did not have safety belts on them. The whole goal was to get as high as you could get and then launch yourself into the stratosphere. Our jungle gyms did not have padding. We had rocks. Rocks the janitor sharpened at night because he hated us. We'd come home from school, hop on our bikes, without helmets, without shoes, sometimes without clothes. We didn't care. Everything we did was dangerous. We ran our go-karts directly into traffic. We jumped out of trees with sheets hoping they were parachutes. For fun and games, we threw lawn darts at each other. Remember that? Miss. We didn't have suntan lotion. We had peeling parties because we got burned to a crisp. I think you won. We had BB guns where half the time we spent pumping them up, hoping to take somebody's eye out. We blew up Barbies with M80s. When we were hungry, we ate paint chips. We ran with scissors. Our Halloween costumes were made out of asbestos, for goodness sake. But for safety, our mothers made us wait an hour after we ate before we swam. Now kids can't even play hide and seek. They all have cell phones or text messaging each other. Billy's behind the rock. LOL, there he is. It's just different. Okay, so it's different. So my kids are grown. They're out of the nest. How many have teenagers home right now? How many empty nesters? Did you feel the joy right there? Did you feel that? And how many have grandchildren? Yep. That is my goal. I've got 2 kids, nothing. So I'm training. That's what I'm doing. You want something, you get ready for it, like the practitioner, just always practicing, always getting ready. I practice to be, and there's certain things you can do to practice to become a grandparent before the kids actually get it to you. So I hang out at malls and I give kids dollar bills. That's what I do. And people don't look kindly on that for some reason. I don't know. Here's a girl, here's a dollar. They don't like that. So I go to Disneyland and I stand in line, timing the rides. People don't look kindly at that. I want one so badly. So what I do now, my wife and I babysit. That's what we do. We babysit our friends' children just to keep the muscles ready. You know, because I want one. I want a kid now. I want one before we're both in diapers. That's my goal. So this is one of those stories. So there's 2 little boys, and we love them to death, and they're friends of ours. And so, you know, you go over there and you read stories and you play with them, and we tuck them into bed. And actually, the very first thing we do whenever we babysit is we call 911 to check their response time. If they're there 10 minutes, we'll stay. All right, so that's done. So we tuck this kid in, and so they're both asleep. One younger, one still in the crib, and one upstairs. And we're downstairs, and you do what you do when you're babysitting somebody's house. You go through their drawers and you find stuff. You know, so, just like you do, I'm sure. You know, we're straightening things up. You know, so. And then we hear this blood-curdling scream from upstairs, which is my leg! My leg! And horrible thoughts are going through my head. Oh no, it's stuck in the crib. There's a rat eating it. What is happening? I'm running upstairs, calling 911. They won't come. They've already been there once, so I'm on my own. And we get there, and his leg is sticking out from under the covers. Just about an inch. He's up like, curled up like a cocoon because you got to wrap him up. That's how he went, but his leg snuck out. And I'm looking at him, and he's just looking at me, my leg! My leg! Tuck him back in. So I thought I'd be funny. My leg! My leg! It was funny. So before the neighbors called 911, I tucked him back in. He's out like a light. That's what I mean about coddling your children. Your legs touching air. Who cares? I can't wait for this man to report back from his honeymoon. Darling, it was beautiful. My leg! But this is our human condition. That's who we are. We complain so much about everything. It's always, my leg, my jaw, my leg, ah! And that's why we have Breeze. Because God is up in heaven, listening to our complaints, and every day he just goes, don't you think? So there's so many examples of it. When we raised our kids, love my children, loved it. We had we had lunch with my daughter today. She's going to the University of Michigan, and so we had a great lunch. And so we ate at Slows. You know what that is in Detroit? The barbecue place. Really good. Okay, really good. But I mean, so you know, she's an adult now, and it's just amazing how they grow up. You think they're going to be young forever, and they grow. But there are certain things. When she was in junior high school, oh, it was amazing. Oh, just so amazing. We drove her to middle school every single day with all of her friends. I'm making it to heaven on that alone. Honest to goodness line from the back seat of our car. I'm so embarrassed. The teacher maybe get up for the entire class and like read. And she knows I'm growing out my bangs and I don't want to be seen. Could you die? I didn't change a word of that. My favorite line of all time was my daughter, one of her friends. But the other girls, that's like a gauntlet being thrown down. Because the other girls have to top it. I know what you mean. That happened to me in first grade, because I was the only one intelligent enough to read. I could read when I was 2. I could read when I was an embryo. Sometimes it's all you can do to keep from driving into oncoming traffic. And she's this mature woman now, getting her master's. The change is dramatic. It's just amazing. Now my son is now a policeman in LA. Well, he's in the gang unit at LA Police. So couldn't be proud. Great guy. And for that, I mean, I totally blame myself because we read him superhero comics when he was a kid, and he always wanted to be a hero. I should have read him books like Bill the Actuary, Sam the Accountant. Well, to train for a cop, this is what he did when he was 9 years old. At 9 years old, he had an automatic sucker twirler. Have you seen those things? Battery operated, stick the sucker in, turns the sucker for you. For like a year straight, walked around the house going, This generation's so lazy they can't even lick on their own. That's how bad it is. But he got better. He's a mature man. I work with my children, I will say that, because of my job. I did. I totally work with them. They are not normal kids. And it's totally my fault. My daughter would come home from like 3rd grade, they're dead. The other kids at school, their parents go to a thing called work. And sometimes they don't get home until after dinner. I go, I know. And if you study, that could happen to you. So, other stuff for me, we'll have some more fun. We'll join hands and sing Kumbaya. We still have a project to get to. So I've got my kids, and they're getting older, and it's fascinating. And when we gave my daughter, she was married 5 years ago. That was fascinating, just to see the maturity and see what happens. And you dads who've given your daughters away in marriage know what this is. It's just one of those times where it just costs so much money. I'll be paying for it until, I think, 15 years after I'm dead. That's what I've got. My whole retirement plan is Jesus comes back. That's all I got. And those of you who've been through this understand that it's fascinating, because they have to get the gown. You pay for the gown. I'm ready for the gown. But then I had to pay for the fitting. It's like, well, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I would have gotten the gown and, I don't know, fit. Had to get napkins with a date on it, so God forbid someone wipes their mouth and doesn't know what day it is. The rehearsal dinner, I said, well, I hope you're comfortable with $125 a play. No, we're not comfortable. That makes me very uncomfortable. You can't get one photographer, you have to get 2 in case one of them dies or is raptured during the event. So this is why men cry at weddings, just so you know. Because you're walking down the aisle. Who are you? I don't even know you. Just go. Just get married. I'm at the point now where people are asking me, well, what's on your bucket list? You've raised the kids, you've had a career, what's on your bucket list? And my bucket list, number one, is to not kick the bucket. That's on my bucket list. That's health, diet, and exercise. That's what it's going to be. That's what my goal is. Do not die. So my whole, the only way I want to go, I don't want to die a stupid death. So, and I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of being raptured. People want to be raptured, but if you read the Left Behind books, if you recall the rapture, it's every time people left, their clothes were left here. I'm not in that good a shape. I do not want to go to heaven naked. I don't. And people say, no, you're not. No, you're evidently naked in heaven. I don't know what's going on, but Adam and Eve were naked. Sin entered the world. There's no sin in heaven. Naked. Which means I do not want to be met by my relatives. I'll tell you that right now. Like, Grandma, fig leaves. Come on. No, fig leaves. Come on. I got a lot of time on my hands. I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I want to die? I do not want to die a stupid death. And so statistically, let's see, can't even get out. Did you know, this is amazing to me. 700 people a year die from falling out of bed. Yes! So all those dreams you have about falling and you're going to die when you hit the ground, it's true. 700 people a year. I have no idea. So just buy everyone you love guardrails for Christmas because it's an epidemic. Everyone is scared to death of terrorists, but they only kill on average 16 people a year, which is still horrible, 16 people a year in the United States. Okay, falling out of bed, much worse. We need to get TSA agents to stop people with mattresses coming into the airport. Armed toddlers kill 21 people a year. They're beating the crap out of terrorists. They're only doing 16. Who's arming these toddlers? Get the guns away from them. They're killing them. Or just turn them on the terrorists. Take care of everything. 30 people a year die from lightning striking them. 70 people a year from lawnmower accidents. So do not mow the lawn in a thunderstorm because you're dead. Now, I'm scared to death of sharks, so I don't want to go in the ocean because I just know they're there and I've seen Jaws and they're going to kill me. But did you know that 10 times more people die from coconuts falling on their heads on the beach? Yes! So, statistically, if you see a shark attack, you're safer in the water watching it than on the beach. But the number one killer to all of us, and the nurse practitioner will know this, is your body. Your body is just waiting to kill you. Oh, it pretends it likes you. It does not. Pick an organ, the heart, the lungs, something is just waiting to kill you. And just, you're walking along and all of a sudden one day it's like, my leg! My leg! Out. That was morbid, but I thought I'd throw it in. We had fun, let's talk about death. Okay, so. Okay, last subject, we'll get into this and we'll say goodnight and we'll all have fun. And you get door prizes, am I correct? Which I think is very exciting, and as you know, somebody's going home with a picnic day. Marriage, who's been married the longest time? Who here has been married the longest time? You just looked over at them. Who's been married more than 40 years? Just one woman by herself. All right, very good. All right. So I'm seeing this. How many years? 57.
Wow.
All right, that's probably that's right up there. You can beat 57. I heard 64. Where are you? Wave your hand if you can. Are you too tired? 65? You're just trying to beat somebody now, aren't you? Where's 64 again? Over here. Wait, oh. Okay, so it's 64. Are you both here? No. Is your husband in the car with the bowl of water and the window cracked right now? Let me into the comedy show! What's the secret to your success? Leaning on the Lord. Leaning on the Lord. So your balance is off, that's what you're saying? Leading on the Lord. Okay, 57 years. Secret to your success. Respect. Good. People always say forgive and forget, and respect and lean on the Lord. The best thing is just forget. It helps tremendously, it really does. Because my wife and I are getting to the point where we can't remember why we're mad at each other. It's just sort of gone. It's like, what was it? So our dinners have become like congressional hearings. I have no recollection or memory of that particular event. I can neither confirm nor deny that I was present during that time. Please pass the peas. Marriages are fascinating because leaning on the Lord is just a wonderful answer, and respect is one. It's like you've got to find a way to stay together. You've got to find a way to bridge those gaps. Now, how many women here think men are good listeners? And that's the reaction it should get. We are not good listeners. Again, why? We don't care. And it's a fact that women talk relationally. I mean, my wife's a marriage and family counselor, so I know these things. She's a therapist. Women talk relationally and don't care if the problem is ever solved. Men only talk to solve a problem. And God put us together and said, work it out. Women, this will help you. Men are not good listeners. So don't frustrate yourself with that, because we just want to solve your problem. Imagine when you're talking to us, that you're talking to a dog with a biscuit on his nose. That's it. Biscuit on the nose. And so you're saying, well then I said blah, 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 she said blah, 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 blah. So then she said, blah, blah, blah. Just solve it. Here's what you do. It's who we are. I firmly believe that no matter how much you love each other, this fight between the sexes, so if you've got respect and you lean on the Lord, it helps so much, because there's so many times we're just so angry and we want our way and they want their way, that no fight ever will compare to the fight between a man and a woman. Pick any sport you want, doesn't matter to me, no fight. I'll take you in one final battle right now. In this corner, weighing in at 200 pounds, with a record of 7,000 straight losses, is the man. In this corner, weighing in at an undisclosed weight, that is not her fault due to a low metabolism and 3 pregnancies. With a record of 10,000 straight wins, 3,000 of which the man is not even aware of, is the woman. The woman will not tell the man while they are in the ring tonight. If he does not know, that is his problem. Here are the rules. The man, being the physically stronger of the two, is not allowed to use his strength against the woman. He can only use his strength to protect her. The woman, being the more verbally agile of the two, is allowed to rip the man to shreds. Which is absolutely fine, because the man will not understand for up to 3 days, at which time he will demand a rematch and lose again. If the man upsets the woman, he must apologize. If the woman upsets the man must apologize. These are the rules, folks. Remember, as the good book said, you cannot go to sleep on your anger, which means the man cannot sleep until he dies. You're late for church, and the church obstacle course, the children are in the car, you love each other, and fight. And I think that's it for me. I'm Robert G. Lee. I hope you had a good time.